The sun had barely yawned its way over the Manhattan skyline when the studio lights of Live with Kelly and Mark flickered on one by one, glowing like a marquee announcing not just another episode, but the dawn of a brand new season. The air outside was crisp with autumn, but inside the studio, the energy practically hummed with anticipation. Crew members hustled, the band warmed up, producers whispered into headsets, but all eyes were really waiting for the couple at the center of the magic, Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos. This season wasn't just any season. It marked a record-breaking milestone in daytime television. Decades on air, generations of viewers, countless coffee cups raised across America. And now, Kelly and Mark stood prepared to lead the legacy into another chapter, one filled with warmth, laughter, unexpected chaos, and that unmistakable chemistry that made them feel like family to millions. Backstage, Kelly twirled around in her dressing room, straightening the tiny rhinestones on her blazer. "You know," she said to Mark, who was leaning against her makeup counter, half distracted by his phone, "I thought after 30 years of doing this, I'd finally not get butterflies." Mark looked up with a grin. "Butterflies? I'm feeling more like stampeding buffalo," he admitted, though the smoothness of his voice didn't betray an ounce of nerves. "It's not every day you get to kick off a new season of the longest-running morning talk show in history." Kelly pointed at him with her mascara wand. "Exactly, so no pressure." She paused, then suddenly threw her hands in the air. "I mean history. We should have worn crowns." Mark smirked. "I told you we should have entered through a fog machine." ABC said no. "That's why you don't ask," Mark said. "You just roll it out and pretend it was on the schedule." Kelly rolled her eyes dramatically. "This is why you're never in charge of the budget meetings." But even as they bantered, their excitement was unmistakable. This show wasn't just a job to them. It was a continuation of a legacy they both had lived from very different angles. Kelly had practically grown up on the live stage, transforming from the bright-eyed young co-host with Regis to the seasoned, quick-witted queen of daytime TV. Mark, who used to guest host beside her long before he officially joined, had stepped into the role with an ease no outsider could have matched. They weren't just co-hosts. They were a real couple inviting America into their marriage every morning. And viewers loved every messy, hilarious, heartfelt minute of it. A knock on the dressing room door announced the arrival of executive producer Michael Gelman, clipboard in hand, headset slightly crooked from his morning chaos. "You two ready?" he asked, though he already knew the answer. Crowds hyped. Lines were around the block. Kelly tilted her head, touched. "They do realize we didn't hire Taylor Swift as the guest surprise, right?" "Don't say that on air," Gelman cautioned. "People will riot." Mark leaned in conspiratorially. "Can we get a fog machine if Taylor ever comes?" "No," Gelman said flatly, walking away. Minutes later, as Kelly and Mark took their positions backstage, the familiar roar of the studio audience washed over them, a sound that never got old. The applause was thunderous, the kind that shakes the set and rattles straight through the heart. You couldn't manufacture it. You couldn't fake it. It was a bond between host and viewer, built over years of shared mornings, spilled coffee, celebrity guests, holiday sweaters, cooking mishaps, and stories that felt like overheard conversations at your favorite diner. The band kicked into the theme song. The announcer boomed, "It's Live with Kelly and Mark." And just like that, the season began. Kelly and Mark burst onto the stage, hand in hand, waving and laughing as confetti cannons exploded overhead. Gold and silver bits rained down like a celebration of their entire journey, and Kelly immediately tried to catch one midair. Mark, meanwhile, attempted to kick a confetti piece like it was a tiny football, completely missing and almost losing his balance, which only made the crowd laugh harder. Kelly slid into her chair, breathless. "Well," she gasped, "we survived the entrance." Mark straightened his blazer, recovering his dignity. "That was not in rehearsal," he said. "It never is," Kelly replied. "It keeps you young." The first segment was a nostalgia-packed celebration of Live's history. Clips of the show's earliest days flashed on-screen, Regis cracking jokes, Kathy Lee singing, a young Kelly her first year, unforgettable guest moments, and now Mark stepping confidently into his era. The audience cooed and laughed and cheered at every memory, some iconic, some chaotic, all beloved. Mark put a hand on his heart. I have to say, stepping into a show with such an incredible legacy is overwhelming, in a good way. Kelly nudged him. Overwhelming is when your husband brings his entire extended family to set on your first day. They wanted pictures. They wanted backstage tour, Mark. The audience roared. But beneath the jokes, Kelly's eyes softened with sincerity. This show means so much to me, she said, her voice warm and steady. But what makes this season even more special is getting to share it with someone who knows me better than anyone. Mark squeezed her hand under the desk, where only the front row could see. Same. The celebration continued with surprise video messages from former hosts, celebrity friends, and even fans from around the world holding up mugs and signs declaring how long they've watched. 5 years, 10, 20, even someone who claimed they'd watched since before Kelly had highlights. Kelly pretended to be offended. Mark pointed to the screen and said, "Accurate, though." There were blooper reels. There were heartfelt speeches. There were jokes that spiraled wildly off topic. In other words, it was a perfect live episode. The highlight came near the end of the show, when Gelman wheeled out a towering cake shaped like the iconic live coffee mug. Kelly gasped. Mark immediately dipped his finger into the frosting. Gelman slapped his hand away. Kelly laughed so hard she nearly fell out of her chair. This is why they can't have nice things. As the hour wound down, Kelly looked into the camera with that signature sincerity that made her the heart of the franchise. "Thank you for letting us be a part of your mornings," she said. "Thank you for loving this show, its past and its future. And thank you," she added, turning toward Mark, "for trusting us to carry it forward." Mark nodded. "Here!" To another season filled with joy, surprises, and hopefully fewer confetti-related injuries. The band played. The applause swelled. And as the cameras pulled back, capturing the couple waving to the audience, the energy in the room felt like a launch, not just of a new season, but of a new era. For Live with Kelly and Mark, the morning had only just begun.